Nobody wants to see this movie, okay? No one wants this. This is the problem of Hollywood in general. They make movies that nobody wants, nobody cares about, and no one will watch. This is the problem with Hollywood. Because if you look at the box office movies for this year, a lot of these movies are remakes that no one wants, reboots that no one wants, and movies in general nobody wants, okay? Let's look at the release schedule for this year. Movies that have already come out, and movies that have not come out. Let's look at movies that are still coming out this year. Ugly Dolls, based off a mid-2000s toy trend that no one cares about. Detective Pikachu, the first live-action Pokemon movie, and actually looks good out of all these movies. Aladdin, the movie of Will Smith's Genie. Yes, that. Godzilla, another sequel in a long line of Godzilla movies that will likely become good. Dark Phoenix, thus another cash grab for Disney and Marvel. It's no longer Fox anymore, it's Disney. Secret Life of Pets, a movie made for more plushies to be sold at the store. That's really same thing with Toy Story 4. Created thus for toys, thus like College Free. Not made of actual passion whatsoever, and made of intended to get mixed reviews and be intended to essentially sell more toys. Man in Black International. We do not need another Man in Black movie. It ended at free, and it sort of ended at free. Child's Way. No opinion. Next movies. Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie sounds interesting. And then you have the big one. The Lion King 2019. Oh my god, here we go. Cash grab, nothing more. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. So Fast and Furious is now a yearly franchise like Star Wars was. Guess it's gonna backfire on them. The Angry Birds movie 2, based off a 10-year-old franchise that no one cares about. Yes, 47 Years Uncaged, sequel to a good movie. Playmobil the movie. I guess they didn't want to rest it after the regular movie 2 flopped. No one wants a Playmobil movie. It Chapter 2. The It movie was actually quite good to many people and critics, so I can see why they're making a sequel to it, as they never really made a full series of the It franchise, as there's multiple It books based off of Stephen King's It. Next is Rambo Last Blood, another reboot that nobody cares about, and guess what? It's made by Lionsgate. What a surprise. Abominable. Another cash grab because Smallfoot was so successful and such a great movie. Joker actually looks cool. Zombieland 2, so it was made a long time ago, but for some reason, oh god, they're making it another Ben Affleck movie. I guess it's gonna be one of the worst. I don't know. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, a sequel to a movie that was essentially a cash grab as well. Terminator Dark Fate, another movie that nobody wanted, but yet they continue making Terminator movies despite people not wanting to see them. And then, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie is all complicates into greediness. This movie looks absolutely awful. Why? The trailer just launched today, and it looks like the freaking Flash. That's not Sonic. Sonic is not the freaking Flash. You hear me? Of course, they won't listen because that's how they are. First, we'll go over the rest of all the sequels that are probably going to do very well, like Zumanji. Welcome to the Jungle. That movie made $900 million, and it was actually pretty funny. But, again, doesn't need a sequel. The Rise of Skywalker, the last Star Wars film for a long time, hopefully, and Frozen 2. Another attempt for Disney to put more toys on the shelves. So that's basically 2019 films in a nutshell. Most of these films are either made to put toys on the shelf and to sell more merchandise, but the thing is, that's how business works, and we have to all suffer until people finally start to wake up and realize that all these sequels, prequels, reboots don't need to be made, or specifically remake unnecessary and useless remakes. There are some movies that are sequels that I do want to see, like Godzilla and Jumanji, but what I do not want to see or don't care for or take so long to make that nobody cares about them anymore. And 2020 schedule suffers the same problem. More sequels and reboots, like a Doctor Dolittle reboot. Yes, we're getting a reboot of Doctor Dolittle. Birds of Prey, a Harley Quinn movie based off the comic of the same name. An unnecessary Peter Rabbit movie sequel that nobody wanted. Godzilla vs. Kong, one of my most anticipated movies of the year. James Bond 25, instead of making something original, we have the 25th James Bond movie. It's like they continue making these movies and don't realize that they're basically all the same movies and with different actors. They're making more DC films in 2020. I don't know why they're still not removed from here, but DC already confirmed their lineup for the year. And basically outside of that, all of these are just... Oh look! And they're making a Monster Hunter movie. Yes, that exists now. And yes, they're making an Avatar movie, even though James Cameron can make original ideas instead of making 5 sequels to Avatar that nobody cares about because Avatar came out 10 years ago. Minions 2, a cash grab obviously. Top Gun, soulless remake of an old movie. Do you get what I'm saying here? That Hollywood, and outside of big films, most of these films are just remakes and reboots of old existing franchises, especially 10-year-old reboots and remakes. There are some movies that do deserve sequels, like I do like the current MonsterVerse that's going on, because Godzilla and King Kong are cool, and they have existed for a long time. But a lot of these movies like Mulan 2020 and James Bond 25, instead of making new ideas, they would go with these existing franchises like James Bond especially. There's so many of these James Bond movies. I'm surprised they don't make them every year considering how much money they make. And especially the worst culprit of this, the Fast and the Furious, which has only been around for at least 20 years and they have made, now they're on their 10th film. The 10th film. Okay, 2020, 10th Fast and Furious movie. Because now it's time to make spin-offs for the series, so... And I'll make an entirely separate video about Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, as this video has gone on for too long. And Sonic the Hedgehog will further into tie of why Hollywood is completely, like, crazy now with just remaking and just cash grabbing everything, especially Disney. They're the worst culprits of this.